I feel like I just left you just here, just right here, just a minute ago. That's because I did. Hey guys, Kira here from 50 Shades of Mom, back to share with you guys another video, and today we're going to dive into meal planning. So I'm going to share with you my weekly meal plan, which I normally do include in my grocery haul, but like I said, this week we're just going to do something a little bit different because so many of you have questions for me. Kira, how do you meal plan? So like I mentioned in my grocery haul, I find meal planning to be a tad bit difficult if you don't have the proper tools and you don't really have the knowledge to start with. Once you get the hang of it, it becomes a little bit more easy, but I must admit that even for me, who loves cooking in the kitchen, who loves being in here and has a passion for food, I still have weeks where I feel completely uninspired. I don't know what I want to cook. I don't know what I want to do, and it can get frustrating, and it makes meal planning and prepping for dinners and grocery shopping, it just makes it difficult, and then we end up picking up the phone and ordering a pizza. So I totally get it, but like I said, this is something that I've practiced for so long that I've picked up a couple of tips. So I'm going to break down with you guys the tools that I use. I'll let you take a peek into my meal planner, and we will take a look at this week's meal plan. All right guys, so here we are at the drawing board, and I have all the tools here that I need to start to meal plan. I'm not even going to tell you what time it is because I had to actually move everything off this countertop to work. So needless to say, I made coffee in my mug because it's going to be a long night and an even longer day tomorrow. But I do have my computer here so that I have my Pinterest board, I have my phone in case I need that, and then here is my new meal planner. So I'm really excited about this. This is my third year using a carry-out meal planner, but you can see the difference in size. These are my other two. Look at the difference. This is the mini. And I decided to do the mini because I like to do a lot of work on the go. I do a lot of traveling to my mom's and stuff, and like I don't bring my menu stand when I go to my mom's and things, so I just wanted something a little bit easier for me to remember, something that I could put in my purse and like travel and work on my meal plan on the go. But this is the one that I had last year, and then this is the one that I had the year before. So I saved them. Now that I've been using meal planners like this actively, I've been saving them and I use them as reference pieces for meal planning because who knows, you know, what my thoughts were then. So, you know, maybe I made something and forgot all about it. You know, like here, I haven't made chicken marsala in forever. I haven't made country style ribs in forever. But some of these other things, Monte Cristo's just made that. Spaghetti's on the meal plan for this week. Hamburgers, we just had that. So like, you know, not everything would apply, but sometimes going over and looking things over and just seeing what we did, like even referring to birthdays, like, what did I cook for Daryl last year? What did we do for Paul last year? That kind of thing. So I like to save these. It's great. Maybe we tried something once before, realized we didn't like it, and you know, I didn't remove it from my Pinterest board, but I put it on here and I'm like, oh yeah, ew, gross, we didn't like that. You get the point. So I like to keep my spare meal planners, and she has definitely upgraded as the time has gone on. So this one was good, but then this one was so much better because she added so many things. And then now this one I am totally in love with because there's even more things that she's has added. And I think the mini is set up a little bit different. So I've seen the larger layout and it's set up a little bit different than this one. I don't know if it's always been like that. Again, this is my first year using a mini, but what I love about her is that she just has an eye for detail, and she has a look that I'm attracted to. This farmhouse kind of style. I love it. I love her quotes. She always just puts inspirational things in there that make me feel good. So this says, people who love to eat are always the best people. And that's a quote by Julia Childs. And like, I even think, you know, saving these kinds of papers. They're in every one of them, and I really should, you know, laughter is brightest where food is best, and that's an Irish proverb. So I mean, all these awesome things would be great framed afterwards, but I just love them. She gives you a spot to write your name. All of this is laminated, so when I keep this in my menu planner stand, like last night I cooked burgers and like this was greasy and I was just able to wipe it right off. So I love that. I put my little sticker, unicorns are my spirit animal. That was me just trying to decorate and personalize for myself. So she starts off with a resource tab, and that has your favorite websites. So you can put in the favorite, you know, blogs or website places that you like to go to get your recipes. And then this one says your favorite recipes, which I think is really awesome, because if Pinterest and using the computer and things on your phone are not really your thing, you can certainly use these to, you know, write down your favorite recipes or something, or even use these when you're watching YouTube and, you know, someone take a screenshot and write it down or whatever. So I love that little spot. This is something that's new. Anyways, just look at her detail for pictures. I'm sorry, like that is blueberry cheesecake. That just makes me want blueberry cheesecake. I don't know. This says measurement conversions. So this is new, and she put all sorts of measurement conversions, even down to like degrees, Fahrenheit, Celsius, that kind of thing, which I think is pretty neat. And then on the back, which I love, is baking substitutions. How like stinking cool is that? Like that is at your fingertips, what you can use for white flour, coconut flour, almond flour, cornmeal, rice flour, oat flour. Like she just has everything listed down to what you can use in place of salt, in place of sour cream. Just, I love that. It was a very nice touch. And this is what I have not done yet, but I am cracking into. And this is a huge part of meal planning, you guys. And that is having an inventory of what you have in your house. Even if you shop week to week, it's still important to have it written down and know what you have on hand in case that night you skip and you order pizza and it's left in your freezer. You want to know when you're planning the next week that it's there. So what I love is that here I would write, say, ground beef in this spot right here. And then if I have 4 packages of ground beef in the freezer, I would tally 1, 2, 3, 4 and write the date frozen, you know, 1/15. And then when you're done with those tallies, instead of like using a whole new line, I would start the tally again. Maybe I go out and buy another couple of pounds of ground beef and I break it up and I tally 3 more tallies on there. And then I say date frozen 2/12. And then so on and so forth. So you have tons of space to use for all year. Again, look at her pictures. I just love her eye for detail. But you have tons of space for your freezer inventory. And I just feel like this comes in such handy, and my helpful tip for filling this out is as soon as you go grocery shopping and you've put the meat in the freezer, every time you're done, you update your freezer inventory. Otherwise you forget and it never gets done. So I find something like this is super helpful. Even if now this is mini, I can throw it in my handbag and take it with me to the store. So I know what I have on hand. I don't have to say like, do I have ground beef or whatever? I have this, especially if I haven't meal planned before I went to the store. But that's another hint. Obviously, setting yourself up and knowing what you're going for before you get there is helpful. Here is the pantry inventory. So this is your mac and cheeses, your pastas, your canned goods, all of that. And the same thing would apply. If you have beef broth here, you can write beef broth and put a couple of tally and mark that date, and then, you know, go on and so forth. When you've crossed it out and then you buy more beef broth, you can just add a couple of more tallies and save yourself space so that you can continue to use, you know, this kind of spot. Now this is saying you have hers. She has them available on her website, and I have a link down below if you guys want to check them out, but you do not have to use this. And you also do not want to, you don't have to use this tangible book, even if you like her setup. She has a digital download, so you can digitally download it and print it on paper. Put it in your own binder if you wanted to do that, and it's super cheap. for that. But you can do this on your own in a notebook if you just want to, but just the setup alone of knowing what you have on hand is super helpful. And then she has a spice inventory. This is new. I've never used this before. I know that I should, because I'm very guilty of not keeping up with how expired my spices are, but I definitely need to get better at that, but I have not done that. So I'm going to try myself to use that. And then now her tab says meal plans. So she always does a month at a glance first, and then she breaks down into your meal plan. So this was last week's meal plan. Here's where I have all of my stickers and everything set up. And I did not tear off my grocery list last week. Sometimes I will just take a picture of it and use my phone in the grocery store. But this particular week, I did rip my grocery list off and take it in store so you can see that it's gone. That's one of the things I absolutely love and drew me to her style, was that she has this perforated grocery list part. So you just fold it, you fill out your grocery list, and then you rip this off and take it with you to the store. So I love that. That's my favorite part of this book. And then we will go over in just a minute what the meal plan is for this week. Actually, you know what? We'll do that while we're right here. But first, actually, let me just flip to the back real quick and show you. She does have a gatherings page, which I do love if you're throwing parties, but even if you don't throw parties, I like this even for busy days. Like if you just have a lot going on, or you're going away on a road trip. Like I feel like there's so many different times that you need to have like your food figured out, or when you have a large thing that you want to do that you need something like this. But that's the only part of this book I don't use often. But my favorite part is this notes tab in the back, and that's because I work my meal plan out on paper first before I transfer it to the front. I do a lot of scribbling, as you can see, and like this pen was dying, so I don't want to mess up the front when I want like a good mental picture. So I usually work here in the back first. I figure out everything that I'm going to do, and then I transfer it back to the front. So now let's go over this week's meal plan, and then we'll just dive into the few things that I have here that's left. I did not put my stickers on yet because I was too busy getting ready to do this. So I did not put any stickers on. And I will say that with the mini, it's a little harder to do stickers if you rip that grocery list off, because I don't really have that extra space to go out. But that's okay. I'll come back and add a few things just for color and pop. But this weekly meal plan is for January the 14th through the 20th. And tomorrow morning for Monday, we're going to do breakfast prep. I'm going to film on myself making fresh syrup. So I'm really excited about that. That is something that is in this food hack book. So that is what this week's food hack is going to be. And I know you guys have heard me talk about my family's farm and their fresh maple syrup that they get. So I want to see how that stacks up against theirs. So I'm excited about that. We're going to have watermelon. I'm going to do a double batch of pancakes so that I can freeze some, and we'll do that with the sausage that I have left over from the breakfast pizza. On Tuesday, we're going to do chicken enchiladas, but I'm going to do the green chili kind. So in my cookbook here that I did with the girls, I shared my regular enchilada recipe, but I know that there's a really good chicken one that I do with green chili sauce. So that one's with ground beef and red sauce. And then this one is with chicken and green chili sauce. So Amber said that her husband Chris was like looking for a good recipe using the green enchilada sauce. So I'm going to film this one and share this with you guys in a future cooking video. But I think you'll really like this because that chicken enchilada stuff is like absolutely amazing. If you like the green kind of chili sauce, which like the salsa verde from like Taco Bell or something, I love that. So I'm just going to serve that with white rice. White rice is really good with that green salsa verde sauce. On Wednesday, we have a lot going on, so I'm just going to do a crock pot meal. We're going to do a pot roast, those little tiny potatoes, some carrots, some green beans, and half of the double loaf of crusty Claudia Bakery bread that we got from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to use the other one later on in the week, but we're going to have that one with the pot roast. On Thursday, I'm making homemade chicken soup, and I'm actually going to add the matzo balls in there. So many of you guys asked in my What's for Dinner video to share the matzo ball soup recipe. So I'm going to do that, and we're just going to have that with a Caesar salad. So I'll be filming that for you guys. On Friday, I'm going to make a big pot of sauce. I just used up my last Tupperware that I had making pizzas this past weekend. So I now need a sauce in my freezer. And then we'll use the other half of that bread for garlic bread and the leftover salad. I usually do make a big, huge salad. On Saturday, we're going to do steak sandwich with that loaf of bread that I'm going to turn into everything bread. We're going to use the potato wedges that Leanne recommended, the seasoned one, and the corn on the cob that I bought last week that we never used. And then on Sunday, we're going to do turkey chili. I have some turkey chopped meat in there, so I'm going to do a small batch of turkey chili. And this is actually the turkey chili recipe, you guys, that we did on the 50 Shades of Chicken a couple of recipes back. I'm not kidding when I tell you that it was really good. So I'm going to actually make it again, freeze some, put it aside for a Super Bowl or something. But it was really, really, really good. And then we're also going to do since we're going to have the chips out, because we like to dunk chips in our chili. That's why I wrote nachos. We like to dunk our nacho chips in the chili. So while the nacho chips are out, I'm going to make 2 different kinds of spin dip. So last week I told you guys I was going to share with you my cold spinach dip recipe, but I also really like the hot spinach dip. My mom was like, oh man, you're not going to share your hot one. You're sharing the cold one. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Let's do a spin dip war. So we're going to go head to head on spin dip, and I'm going to make my hot spinach artichoke dip like what you would get if you went to like TGI Fridays or something. And then I'm going to make my cold spinach dip that I serve like in a hollowed out pumpernickel bread. And it's really super delicious, and I really love it. And it's more like a cold party dip. So we're going to go head to head on spin dips, and I'll make that to film for you guys while the nachos are out. And both of those things freeze really well, so I'll probably freeze them for Super Bowl. So while we're actually like on this topic of 50 Shades of Chicken, that is something else that I need to do when I'm meal planning, which is obviously not for everybody, but I need to check my schedule and see what I'm going to share with you guys. Daryl's been really enjoying sharing food for dudes, so I usually have to go through and pick out his recipe or let him, you know, keep this out for him to choose so I can put this in the meal plan. This way we're not just cooking just to cook. We actually like want to eat and utilize what we're cooking to share with you guys. So we need to pick something to work into our meal plan. So I have to leave this out for him. And then this food hack book, you guys, I'm totally loving these food hack books. Like I cannot get over how good those Thin Mint crackers were from last time. I cannot stop thinking about them. They were like better than a Thin Mint, and I'm sure a lot healthier for you since you were just using a Ritz cracker and Andes candies as opposed to whatever was in like that cookie. So I don't know, really, really good. I really like these books, and I've discovered some amazing things. So I love sharing in these. And then here's my 50 Shades of Chicken book. So I need to work all these things into the rotation while I'm cooking. And then even new ones. So this is the one that I just scored from the Dollar Tree, the Silver Spoon, the Chop, Sizzle, and Wow. Like, you guys, this thing is pretty stinking nifty. It looks like a comic strip the whole time. So I really love that. Like, what's the odds I would open up to something that's in the book? But like, I love how everything is animated. So like, ew, that's pretty nasty. That says broiled stuffed squid. That's not up my alley, but sweet, what? Oh, this must be like a fish something. I don't know. Rolled peppers, eggs. This thing looks really interesting. A margarita pizza. I just love this. And the kids got such a kick out of this cookbook that looked like a cartoon. The kids kept saying, like, is this a cartoon? Is this a cartoon? And they got a big kick out of it. So maybe get them, like I said, involved in cooking in the kitchen. But I really want to use this. I actually think that I could probably, like, get a good picture of this and animate this in the video and make it pop up like as we're cooking. I don't really know. I think we could have fun with this book. So I have this cookbook out, and then just similar to that, Food for Dudes cookbook. There's like a zillion of these that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I feel like cookbooks are a huge inspiration ever since electronics got out there and everyone started using things like our phones and Pinterest and the computers and stuff. We kind of neglected cookbooks, but I've really been re-inspired by them, by the ones I found, you know, at the Dollar Tree. And they're the ones that we have, the Campbell's ones, the Velveeta, the Lipton soup mix, like all those ones. And you don't really need to use those exact ingredients. You can use that concept and then change it with something more organic or, you know, less GMO filled, or however that you want to do it. Or maybe you're fine with just using the regular Campbell's or Velveeta if you don't mind cooking with those things, but you can certainly use them as a guideline. So I absolutely love my cookbooks. I love referring to this even for my own recipes. I find that, you know, the other day I was making meatballs and I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. And I pulled up my book real quick and I was like, yep, you know, whatever. I forgot what it was. Maybe I forgot onion powder. I only put garlic in, or whatever that it was. And I realized like, oh yeah, I forgot that. And it was just nice to have my own book to refer to. But I really love some of the recipes that I've gotten from the girls. I mentioned in my grocery haul that I'm making Nicole's dewdrop cake, which is actually the last recipe here. And somebody said like, oh, can you share that recipe with me? That's her recipe. I'm not going to share it. It's in our cookbook, which is always available on Amazon if you guys want to check it out. There's actually a digital copy that's only $10 if you guys want to get like a Kindle version, something that's not print, because Amazon's the one who determines the prices, and so $20 is what this actual tangible book is. But again, I love referring to that. And then I love referring to Pinterest. So it lost me a little bit. Hold on, So here we are on my Pinterest page, and if you guys have a Pinterest and you don't follow me, come find me. My links and all of my social media are always on the end slate of the videos, but I usually go on here actively every single week when I'm meal planning to check my boards, to pin new things, and I literally use this as a source every single week. Like there isn't a time that I'm not using this. For example, you know, here what I just shared last week as far as breakfast. Let's see, these are the baked Parmesan hash brown cups that I made, and this right here is the bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast pizza. So I use this actively in my meal planning, and the options here, you guys, are endless. You can find anything on here, and because of that, it suits everybody's needs. And you don't even have to use this. You can use Google, good old Google, when you're looking for something. If you're looking for meat recipes, you know, you can just simply type in, let's just do that. Let's type in ground beef recipes. So now look at all these things that come up: oldalpaso.com, hiddenvalley.com, bettycrocker.com, simply tasting recipes, viewfreerecipesnow.com, allrecipes.com. Like there's just so many tools out there. And if you're watching these videos, then you have some kind of access to social media, which is a huge pathway to finding out what recipes are out there and what suits your family. So now once you have like all of your tools laid out and you have everything, you know, your next thing that you would need is your device with your calendar so that you can line it up with making notes. Hey, if we have an appointment this day, like I said, on Wednesday we have tons of appointments, and so that's the day I'm going to do a crock pot meal. So having your calendar available to what you need to do and what that you can not do during the week, if that makes sense, is really key for doing that. And then I also try not to duplicate meats. So if we have a steak, I'm only going to have that once a week. If we have ground beef, we're only going to do that once a week. Chicken is the only thing I'll duplicate twice. I try to do a no meat night or something like a soup and salad or just a sandwich night. I try to do that on a night when it's towards the end of the week and it's been a long week and I just need a break on dishes or something like that. And I really like to cater to everybody's liking. I like to do at least one person in the house's favorite meal during the week so they don't feel like, ugh, all week you made stuff that I don't eat. I made sure that everybody has a favorite. You know, the kids, my littles, love breakfast. So that was a big deal for them. They, you know, they're totally going to be down with having breakfast tomorrow and sausage and watermelon and pancakes. Like, that's their thing. Jake loves all Mexican food, so he'll be all over the the enchiladas. Daryl loves pot roast. I love matzo ball soup. So we all love sauce. We all love the steak sandwich. We're all into the Mexican food. So it was just, I try to cater to everybody's needs, and I try to do something that I haven't done the week before, like duplicating meals. And having all of these tools set out just allows me to do that. I know what I did last week by just flipping the page before. I know what I did the week before that. So having all these things, you know, at your fingertips, you really just kind of need to breathe. You need to realize that you need to just take every day at a time. You know, what's going on for Monday? We just had this, or, you know, maybe all weekend long you guys were running and you ate a lot of fast food and you guys stopped at a lot of burger joints. Maybe you want to steer away from red meat for the first couple of days. So when you're doing your meal plan, you can say, oh, you know what? We ate out all weekend. So from Monday, I'm going to start off something light with chicken, or we're just going to do soup and sandwiches and kind of give our body a break from the greasy stuff. I mean, really, you just need to, like I said, envision each day, what you have planned for the day, what your events are, and, you know, what you have on hand. And then once I make this, then I go back and make my grocery list. I use my inventory to see what I have on hand, what I need to pick up, and then I head out to the grocery store. So I know this seems sometimes overwhelming and complicated, and, you know, why do you have 1,000 books and the computer and your phone and, you know, and a meal planner? But this is also my wheelhouse and something that I really enjoy. So I like to get a little bit intricate. You guys don't need to. This does not have to be so overwhelming. You just need to cater to your family's needs and do what you need to do. Maybe it's just you and a spouse or a significant other, and that's, you know, that's all you're worried about cooking for. Then, you know, maybe doing a whole big giant meal planning thing isn't necessary. But I feel like this keeps away from a lot of impulse buying. I also feel like this helps with keeping weight management under control. Not that we are, but that's not what we're exercising right now. If you are in a structured environment where you need to exercise weight management, doing meal planning and figuring out, okay, I only want to have this kind of protein for lunch and this for dinner, and what you need, and putting it on a list. It just helps keep yourself in line and structure. And I'm all about structure, you guys. Like that to me, keeping myself regimented is the key to me. You know, some people will just do a meal plan and then they don't necessarily follow it day by day. It's just what they're going to have that week, and whatever they feel like they want when they wake up in the morning is what they have. I don't do that, because that will still give me paranoia. Because even if it's only 7 things, I still have to choose. I don't want to choose. I want to sit down and figure out what I want to do, when I want to do it, and why. And then that day, I just want to get up and take it out and leave it out and cook it and let it be done. So that's really it, guys. I know this was a lot of information, and again, I'm super chatty over the same things that I always chat about, but this is like a true passion of mine. I really love it. And although, like I said, this can get tedious, I have a lot of fun. I love finding new recipes. I love getting the family excited when they see the meal plan and they're like, oh, oh, you know, Thursday is my favorite thing. I can't wait for Thursday. And it just gets the house excited. Then they want to get involved and get in the kitchen because it's their favorite meal. So I really love it. And again, it also helps keep me structured to the best that I can inside of the grocery store. But as long as you put everything in front of you and use your tools, I think that it is certainly easier said than done. So thank you guys again so much for watching. If you have made it all the way through, you truly are a fan, and I am so appreciative of you. I hope that this helps. If you guys have any more questions, please email me, direct message me, something. I will answer the best that I can. And again, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.